after years of dodging the depositions, well, the Trumps, they were able to delay it yet again, but this time it was due to the death of Ivana Trump. That's a 73-year-old matriarch of the Trump family. Here's a picture of her. She was the former president's first wife and is the mother of Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka, and Eric Trump. She died in her apartment on the Upper East Side, and paramedics were called for a cardiac arrest. This is what we know per ABC News. Ivana Trump was found unconscious and unresponsive at the bottom of a set of stairs in her apartment, according to police sources. The police are investigating whether she fell, and if so, whether the fall contributed in any way to her death, the sources said. A medical examiner will determine her cause of death, police said. Now, the NYPD said they do not think that there is any criminality or wrongdoing going on related to her death. But when it came to her life, particularly with Donald Trump, what we know is definitely that Ivana helped build the Donald and his empire. She even coined that term, the Donald. They were married in 1977, but in a very expensive and very publicly nasty divorce. Their marriage ended in the early 90s, and it was driven in part because of Trump's affair with Marla Maples, who later became his second wife. Now, we know this per the New York Times obituary on Ivana Trump. So after almost a year of gossip and legal posturing, a court granted the couple a divorce in December 1990 on the grounds of cruel and inhumane treatment by Mr. Trump. But a bitter settlement fight ensued when Ms. Trump insisted that he owed her half of his fortune, not knowing, perhaps, that he was close to bankruptcy at that time. It really just very much seems kind of being Donald Trump style to, well, definitely mistreat women, but then also to be manufacturing this aura of wealth that he doesn't not necessarily have. Yeah. It definitely seems to be the case. Anyway, in terms of Ivana's death, the Trumps released statements, including this one. Ivana Trump was a survivor. She fled from communism and embraced this country. She taught her children about grit and toughness, compassion and determination, the family said. She will be dearly missed by her mother, her 3 children, and 10 grandchildren. And obviously, Donald Trump, in his statement that he put out on Truth Social, when it came to the death of his wife, it really seemed to maybe be one that was inching toward donations. He first tweeted on his social truth or Truth Social, "I'm very saddened to inform all of those that loved her, of which there were many, that Ivana Trump has passed away at her home in New York City. She was a wonderful, beautiful, and amazing woman who led a great and inspirational life. Her pride and joy were her 3 children, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric. She was so proud of them, as we were all so proud of her. Rest in peace, Ivana." Yeah, and of course, that Truth Social post made its way into an email seeking donations for his Save America PAC. Yeah. Without a doubt, I don't doubt it in any way. Just to give you a chance, Jeff, how does all of this sit with you?
Everything with this man is transactional. The grift continues despite something tragic that is happening with him and his kids. There is no end to this man trying to raise money for himself. This has nothing to do with the election. This has nothing to do with saving America. It has everything to do with his pockets, as we've seen over the last few years.
Exactly, and it's a sympathy grift as far as I'm concerned. As you saw, the fact that the New York court grants you a divorce on inhumane treatment, and a lot of people who lived in New York during that time remember the things that he would do to her during the divorce and how he treated her, despite the fact that it was wholly evident that she helped build his empire in toto, and he would not have anything that he had, even though it sounds like he didn't have much at the end of the day when it came to the divorce, but he wouldn't have anything he has today without her. And in addition to giving him his 3 children, it just, he did her dirty in life, and it really seems that also in death. And of course, Donald Trump is also still choosing to leverage her death to his benefit, because we know that in light of Ivana's death, the Trumps, including Donald, asked the New York AG, Letitia James's office, to postpone all 3 of today's depositions. That is the depositions for Donald Trump, Don Jr, and Ivanka. And although the AG's office went ahead and agreed to postpone them, well, the New York AG, she let them know, hey, this isn't over. And this statement was issued in part. This is a temporary delay, and the depositions will be rescheduled as soon as possible. There is no other information about dates or otherwise to provide at this time. We offer our condolences to the Trump family. That was a very classy thing to give them that pause and that break, especially because when people testify, you want them to be at their best, shall we say. And it just makes sense in terms of the process, particularly for the two children of Ivana Trump, as the way in which Don Jr. has spoken about his mother. I never actually heard Ivanka speak about her mother, but I'd like to think that those kids did love their mother very much. And so I could see why they definitely would need to take a break from the deposition. But when it comes to her ex-husband, Donald Trump, it's really hard to believe that he's all that broken up, especially when he's not canceling his Save America rally and he's clearly seeking donations for his PAC off of her death, knowing that he had divorced her some 30 years ago. What do you think, Jeff?
It's very classy, as you said, for New York to do what they did as far as delaying the deposition, but justice still needs to prevail in this situation. And so the fact that he's not delaying or canceling anything else except for that lets you know that the grift is still ongoing. So God bless the Trump family in this regard, but they need to come back and testify.
No, without a doubt. And so, take your time to mourn and to heal. But the reality is justice needs to be pursued. And hopefully justice will actually prevail in those circumstances, because we know that the Trumps have been engaged in all sorts of misconduct and mayhem, essentially to the detriment of our nation.